Hey, happy Father's Day. What's going on? Uh, I had a wild weekend of gigs but really I couldn't wait just to practice the guitar after I finally got out of the van and could change my clothes. I just wanted to practice. I couldn't wait to really, because when you do the gig, you have to play the songs. But I like to just do stuff like just noodle and make stuff up, man. I love to do it. But one lick I've been thinking about is this, where it's just like I'm thinking about an A note here on the second string, 10th fret. When I go to that note, I like to slide up with my middle finger on the third string to the 11th fret. That's a sixth interval. Then you've got your second interval, the B, bending up to a major third. So easy. So it's basically we got like 1, 2, 3 notes here, and you make this a fourth note by bending that B, so it's 4 notes. But you can start with 3. Get oriented with that. Middle and index really work for that first 2 notes, then ring finger. When I notice I'm holding down the index finger on the 10th fret, so that's pretty common to kind of hold your position with a finger, usually index. That bend can be less or a little more, or you can go kind of whoa, really push it. So the trick is to do as much as you can with the fewest notes possible. It's not about adding more notes. It's about being creative with like 2 or 3 or 4 notes, I think. So from there, of course, we're going to add more, but here's the little trick I want to show you today, which we've probably covered recently. I was doing it in the Cars solo from Best Friend's Girl, and I think it's in there. Well, Elliot Easton does it. I've been kind of trying to learn some Elliot Easton solos, or relearn them, or learn them better. And he does this lick a lot, which is pretty much a country lick. He always cites country guitar playing. I have tangled with country music in the past myself, and even though I don't really fit in to the country scene very well, I'm kind of a, what do you call it, infiltrator into the scene. So that's adding another sixth interval. That's an F sharp. It does sound kind of, what's a word? It sounds like you're at one level and that note's just kind of elevated. It sounds like a higher note, I guess. It's just kind of like, what are you doing up there, and then you come down. Like if you stayed, it's like, that's weird, but it kind of resolves when you bring it down from that F sharp to an E. So I put that lick in some of our Surf Zombies songs for sure. And I'm holding that bend. That stays. And when I hold it, I'm using at least 2 fingers to hold it, plus my index finger's kind of dampening these other strings. So I'm pushing with 2 fingers, double double strength there. But this other, when you bend, you're going to kind of collide with the G string. So my pointer finger is keeping the G string from making some sort of a weird noise. That's something I do every day, kind of automatically, when I do this kind of bending. Reminds me of Life's Been Good to Me So Far by Joe Walsh. I bought that record and played along with it and learned those leads. I didn't really have that many records, so I just play it over and over and learn those solos when I was a teenager. And then you can get back to your root note if you want. But there's also a hidden stash of notes on that first string that you could tap into, the 12, 11, 10, and the 9. So that's a chromatic run. And that kind of shows, you know, when I harp on my students about fingering, I'm thinking ahead of things like this. That is a cool string of notes. That 11 is or 12 is a E, 11's a E flat, 10 is a D, and 9 is a D flat. So you can add that little string of notes to your simple position. So that's just kind of a position you lock in. You could just stay there and play a solo, and you don't really have to move up and down the neck. So sometimes it's good just to lock into one spot and don't worry about trying to do, you know, exhibition gymnastics. Just keep it really simple. Well, that's just a fun little reminder of how to play, you know, how to maybe approach a little bit of soloing or practice. And I do love to practice. I'm playing this Jaguar with flat wounds, and they're pretty heavy gauge. And I like to complain that these frets are vintage frets. They're very tiny, so it's really hard to play. You have to concentrate when you've got vintage frets. So if you're checking out a Jaguar, take a look at the frets and, you know, think about what size of strings you're going to be playing. If you play lighter strings, it might not be so bad, but I keep, it reminds me of when I bought a 65 Mustang with a, was a 6-cylinder, yes, a 6-cylinder motor. I just wanted to see what that 6-cylinder was like. It was terrible. It was bad. So some vintage things are not cool. And that thing was horrible. I mean, it just barely got you down the street. It was just a very weak motor, you know. So these are pretty weak, but I just had to find out what they're like. And man, I paid about as much for this as I sold that Mustang for. So I'm contemplating having it refretted, which is not cheap. But since this is all original, I'm kind of, you know, on the fence about you know, will I destroy its value? But I don't think I really want to sell it, so I probably should just shut up and have it refretted and enjoy it more. So, but anyway, this kind of pattern is pretty fun to play. Well, happy Father's Day, and hope you guys are doing good. I don't know what I'm doing the rest of the day, but I hope I get to practice some.